Hey there, it's me Eden. If you are new to the channel, then please subscribe to my channel and visit my Patreon page for early access, link in the description.
She woke up to the sound of someone knocking on her door. Not loud, not urgent, just a soft, steady tap, tap, tap. She blinked, groggy. What? The door cracked open. June's head poked in. Rise and shine, new kid. Ginger groaned. Why are you like this? June grinned. Because I love annoying you. Ginger rolled onto her side, pulling the blanket over her head. Go away. June walked in anyway. Sat on the edge of the bed. Poked her foot. Get up. Ginger sighed dramatically. Or what? June smirked. Or I'll tell Mom you secretly love us and that you called this place home in your sleep. Ginger froze. Because had she? Had she said it out loud? Had she? June laughed. Relax, I'm kidding. Ginger scowled. I hate you. June grinned. You love me. Ginger kicked her off the bed. June yelped, landing on the floor with a thump. Ginger smirked. June groaned. Rude. Ginger stretched, sitting up. You deserved that. June dusted herself off, grinning. Worth it. Ginger shook her head. And somehow, waking up like this, annoyed, but not alone, felt normal. Felt good. And she wasn't sure when that had happened. The house was already awake when she made it downstairs. Mom was by the stove, flipping something in a pan. Pip was sitting at the counter, scrolling through her phone. Julie was making coffee. Iris and June were arguing about something dumb at the table. It was loud, chaotic, alive, and Ginger. Ginger didn't hesitate. Didn't pause at the doorway. Didn't think about whether or not she should be here. She just walked in. Like she had been doing it for years. Like she belonged. She sat at the table, crossing her arms. What's the argument? Iris groaned. June is wrong. June scoffed. I am not. Ginger smirked. She's definitely wrong. June pointed at her. You don't even know what we're arguing about. Ginger shrugged. Doesn't matter. You're always wrong. Julie snorted. She's got a point. June gasped. Betrayal. Pip grinned. We love to see it. Ginger smirked, grabbing a mug of coffee from the table. And for the first time, she wasn't thinking about leaving. Wasn't thinking about what would happen if this ended. She was just here, existing. And that was huge. Later that afternoon, Ginger found herself in the living room. Not on purpose. Not because she was avoiding anything. Just because. Because she wanted to be there. Julie was sprawled on the couch, flipping through a magazine. Pip was lying on the floor, tossing a ball in the air. Iris had curled up in the corner with a book. Ginger sat in her usual chair, curling her legs beneath her. No one looked at her like she was trespassing. No one made a big deal about it. She was just part of it. And she liked that. Liked that it didn't feel forced. Didn't feel like she had to earn it. Didn't feel like she was waiting for someone to ask, why are you here? Because she was here. Because this was her space, too. And she didn't feel the urge to fight that anymore. Sometime in the evening, Mom walked in. She looked around at them, smiling softly. And then, girls, she said, we need to talk about something. Ginger's stomach plummeted. Because that was never a good sentence. She sat up straighter, tension creeping back into her shoulders. Pip must have felt it. Because she nudged Ginger's foot with her own. A silent, it's okay. And maybe it was. Mom sat down, smoothing her hands over her lap. I wanted to talk about Ginger, she said. And Ginger's stomach twisted harder. She felt exposed. Like the walls were creeping back up before she could stop them. She clenched her jaw. What about me? Mom smiled. About you staying. Silence. Ginger's pulse roared in her ears. Because she had already said it. Had already told Mom. But now? Now she was saying it in front of everyone. And that felt big. Julie's face lit up. Wait. June grinned. No way. Iris smirked. Called it. Pip nudged her again, grinning. I told you. Ginger swallowed hard. It's not. She exhaled. ran a hand through her hair. She had chosen this. She had wanted this. And now she had to own it. She looked up, met their eyes, and said quietly, "I'm staying." The room exploded. Julie cheered. June threw a pillow in the air like it was some kind of celebration. Iris grinned. Well, finally. Pip just beamed. And Ginger. Ginger felt her throat tighten. Because this was real. This was hers. And for the first time, she let herself have it. Let herself believe it. Mom smiled. Soft. Proud. Like she knew how much this meant. Like she had been waiting for Ginger to believe it too. And Ginger? Ginger did. That night, she lay in bed, staring at the ceiling. Letting it settle. Letting it be real. She had said it. She had meant it. And no part of her regretted it. She wasn't leaving. She wasn't running. She had a home. And for the first time, that wasn't something she wanted to escape from. It was something she wanted to hold on to. Something she was keeping. For good. For real. And that was everything. Ginger had said it. Out loud. In front of everyone. She had let the words settle in the air, let them belong to her, let herself own them. And no one had questioned it. No one had told her she was wrong. No one had asked, "Are you sure?" Because they knew. They had known for weeks, maybe even months, that she had already made this choice. She had just been the last one to accept it. And now? Now, there was no taking it back. And for the first time in her life, she didn't want to. The morning felt different. Not in a big, dramatic way, but in a way that made everything feel settled. Like something had finally clicked into place. Like something had shifted inside her. She didn't wake up tense. Didn't wake up waiting for something to go wrong. She just woke up and existed. And that was huge. She made it downstairs before Pip. That was still new. Still weird. Julie was already in the kitchen, leaning against the counter, munching on an apple. She raised an eyebrow when she saw Ginger. "Okay, who are you, and what have you done with the real Ginger?" Ginger rolled her eyes, grabbing a mug from the shelf. "What?" Julie smirked. "You're awake." Ginger scowled. "It's morning." "That's what people do." Julie grinned. "Yeah, but you're not people. You're like a nocturnal cryptid." Ginger muttered, "I hate you." Julie took another bite of her apple. "You love me." Ginger poured herself coffee. "Doubtful." Julie smirked. "Yet here you are, hanging out in the kitchen like a normal person." Ginger ignored her. Because damn it, Julie wasn't wrong. She had stopped lingering in doorways. Stopped hesitating before sitting at the table. Stopped waiting for someone to remind her she wasn't supposed to be here. She had stopped feeling like she was just visiting. Because she wasn't. Not anymore. Mom walked in a few minutes later, tying her hair back, smiling when she saw Ginger. "Morning, sweetheart." Ginger muttered, "Morning." Mom kissed the top of her head in passing. Like it was normal. Like she had done it 1,000 times before. Like she expected Ginger to be here. And Ginger let it happen. Didn't flinch. Didn't fight it. Didn't feel like she had to earn it. And that was huge. Pip stumbled in next, looking like a disaster. She slumped into a chair, groaning dramatically. "I hate mornings." Ginger smirked. "So you do have weaknesses." Pip scowled. "Shut up." Julie tossed a napkin at her. "You missed the fun." Ginger was acting like a functional human. Pip perked up. "Wait, what?" Julie grinned. "She was up before you." Pip gasped. "Blasphemy." Ginger rolled her eyes. "You're both idiots." Pip smirked. "Yeah, but we're your idiots now." Ginger froze. Her stomach twisted. Because Pip had said it so easily. So naturally. Like it was obvious. Like it was something Ginger should have already known. And maybe she had. The day passed easily. That was still strange. She wasn't waiting for something to go wrong. Wasn't bracing for the moment this all ended. She let herself be here. Let herself exist. She helped June organize the pantry, which was a disaster, by the way. She sat with Julie and Pip in the living room, watching some dumb reality show. She went outside for no reason other than the sun felt nice. And through all of it, she wasn't thinking about what came next. She wasn't thinking about leaving. She wasn't thinking about anything except right now. And that was huge. That evening, Ginger found herself in the kitchen. Mom was at the stove, stirring something in a pot. Ginger hesitated. Then, she grabbed a cutting board, a knife, and started slicing vegetables. Mom glanced over, smiling softly. "Thank you, sweetheart." Ginger shrugged. "It's not a big deal." Mom smiled. "It is to me." And Ginger didn't know what to say to that. So she just kept chopping, kept helping, kept staying. Because this felt normal. This felt good. This felt like something she wanted. And she wasn't fighting it anymore. After dinner, she found herself in the library. Not because she needed to be alone. Not because she was hiding. Just because it was her favorite room. Because she wanted to be here. Because it was hers too. She curled into the chair, pulling Little Women into her lap. She had read it before. But now it felt different. She understood Jo March now. Understood the way she wanted more. The way she wasn't sure what more even looked like. The way she was afraid to lose what she had. Because Ginger had spent her whole life not wanting things. Not allowing herself to want them. Because wanting things meant risking them. But now she wanted this. This home. These people. This life. And for the first time, that didn't scare her. Not at all.
Please subscribe my channel for the next part. And visit my Patreon page for early access.